Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Crusaders of Might and Magic. Here we are in the Dasher village, having just released them from their demonic possession, although they aren't being released from the prison for some reason, but it's not my problem. I'm going to go explore the village, talk to people. Unfortunately, they won't have any awkward or awesome or awesomely awkward voice acting, since they're insects and they speak a different language entirely. But they have still some kind of interesting, I guess, curious or amusing lines, so I'm gonna speak to all of them if I can find everyone. I think those are the places where they reproduce or something, like incubators. They are supposed to be insects. I used to think they are bird-like, but I think they're supposed to be, or maybe like reptilian insects, whatever, fantasy creatures. I'll take your word for it. I don't think I can get under these polygons. I imagine I would, indeed. It's too bad this place doesn't have more trees around, because it would feel much more like a dense forest like it's supposed to. Also, all these houses are just floating in midair. But it's still, you know, it's still a more interestingly and better designed place than some levels of this game. You gotta lower your standards for it. You don't even have any weapons, I could slaughter you all. Now this brings a whole new disturbing meaning to these bowls filled with brown stuff. I used to think they were something like figs or some shit. Now I just think it might be some shit, I don't know. Huh. Well, with those kinds of blades, I don't know if I find that kind of blade inside my vitals. Actually, I'm not sure if my death will be quick or excruciatingly painful and long. Also, they seem to have... I don't know what that is. Looks like peaches, then again it looks like apples, or oranges, maybe apples, maybe peaches, maybe apples. Fruit! Delicious fruit. Thankfully it doesn't drop on my head. Okay, this was... Aha, new stuff. Buba Roruka. You'll have to excuse me for not worshipping your god. This is interesting, because there was a conspicuous lack of elves in this game, even though there are dwarfs, but I didn't complain because I don't like elves in fantasy usually, they're kind of unnecessary in my opinion. I think I might have helped everyone by destroying those demons, well, helping destroy the demons, I guess, since they, that's what they do, they cause problems on the inside, sow the seeds of discontent and such crap. Hello, my fine merchant fellow. Almost called him a mellow, but that would be wrong. I'm going to sell this, and I'm going to sell one of these shields, and I'm going to sell this mace that I accidentally pick up. I'm going to buy this piece of crap, Dasher handbow, just for shits and giggles. This shield I'm not going to buy because it's weaker than my Holy Avenger. It does more physical damage, but we are only fighting undead from now on. So that means this blade that has a bunch of holy damage, resulting in it doing twice the damage of every other weapon I have available right now, is advantageous. Okay, talk to these guys. I know my route around here, but I don't remember who I talked to, unfortunately. I can actually attest, that works. In my personal experience walking through the forest a little while, very much does help clear the head, clear the thoughts, think of new stuff, ideas, you know, contemplate stuff. Hello, Nibble Gorbik. Nice to meet you. This is where we went through before. So now we are pretty much on a linear path to the end. Hello, Tuberon Beeb. This is not a very complicated location, this village. Okay, this was placed here with a purpose, obviously, but I'm gonna bypass it cleverly by jumping. That might be a disease or nanomachines, unless you goo. What? What was I even trying to say? Goo. Unless you mean metaphorically in your blood. Who knows with these insects? Can insects make metaphors? A question for the ages. This is an interesting place because this this house has a different model. It's smaller and more narrow if you look at the other houses. Also, it's a dead end, completely empty. No props, no NPCs, nothing. It's a total mystery. Also, this bag of, and I mean basket of whatever this fruit is on the bridge. Really precariously on the edge of it as well. Oh yeah? Oops, my bad. I'll take your word for that. This guy is hilarious. Do you know people who say like, I'm not racist, but, or, this is just statistics? Not an attack on my species, just an observation. Actually, it's fair. There is room for people to make observations if they turn out to be true. Some people might be sensitive to that, but in my opinion, they shouldn't be. Also, I have no idea what the fuck these things are. Now I'm thinking they might be pelts. I used to think they are fish, but then it occurred to me that there might not be any fish around these parts. So I think they might be really fucked up models of pelts. Oh well. Yet another mystery for the ages. Let's go. To the Duskwood surface. You might remember back in Duskwood when we were going to Corantha, we have seen a bunch of these houses like that in one little clearing, but they were locked. And now they aren't. I could go back if I wanted, but I don't really want to. What I do want though is to demonstrate my awesome fantastic bow. Let's change to my heroism and try to aim for that guy. This weapon is hilarious. But if I can use archery in freaking Blade of Darkness, I can damn well use it in Crusaders of M&M. Alright, one down, 75,000 to go. Just kidding, that was enough of a demonstration, in my humble opinion. Oh dang, I need my reflective shield quickly. People are shooting lightning at me again. How do you like them apples? Right back at you. Alright, now I have to find the way to Corantha. And I will share with you a secret, my friends. I have already recorded this once, but SoundForge fucked up my sound file, so I'm doing it again. Yeah. So there was one thing that I will not be doing again, since I have all the saves. I have made a bunch of saves during that recording. One of them was after... Well, let's just say I'm going to find my last merchant in the game. And I want to spend all my money on potions. And that took a while. That took a while doing that. So there might be slight differences in my stats. Because I'm going to reach the place where I saved last time. And then I'm going to load the save where I have traded all the potions, at which point my amount of money or something like that might slightly change, but it's not like anyone will actually be keeping track. And man, I have definitely lost my extended gag after after trading there. I spent like 2 minutes walking to the Eastern Stronghold just saying, please, please, check out my fine wares, just because that's what the merchant says. And I had to hear that more than 50 times in a row when I was doing that. That wasn't all that fun. That was kinda hilarious. I used all like these voices, different voices. I even said this line in Russian once. And it was fantastic, it was glorious. but you shall never hear it because Soundforge is a piece of goddamn crap. And for some reason, the stuff that I usually always do with it, one of the actions that I usually perform is mute a beginning portion of the update where I do a sound to indicate where the preps recording starts. I mute that sound that I do, of course. I don't cut out in Vegas because it's easier usually just to mute it in Soundforge so that I can then synchronize using like files, file length as well. I'm not gonna go in depth about my process, but let's just say that if I now mute portion of a file in Soundforge and then save, it empties the entire file completely and it becomes completely mute. So that's something that occurs, and that's something that claimed both audio files that I had for the last take on this. So that's unfortunate. But it's going to be lost forever. Lost to oblivion. By the way, if you were thinking, after Kedar's Soul, if you might remember how we took our time to go into that dead end where we didn't actually need to go and found a whole bunch of stuff there. You might remember that there is also the other entrance to the Catacombs on the other side of Duskwood. And you might think, the entrance to the Catacombs from the glaciers has collapsed. But I wonder if we can enter the Catacombs from this side. Well, wonder no longer. Because one of the saves I've made was here. As you can see, the entrance is totally collapsed as well. So they thought of that, surprisingly enough. Also, you can abuse the geometry here to climb on top of this rock and on top of the entrance to the Catacombs, but unfortunately you cannot... Well, you kinda can, but you get sliding down. You can see above the polygons, but you cannot like drop. At least I haven't been able to drop down there, so that's a bit of a loss for curious minds. But the point is, there is nothing interesting here. There weren't even any special skeletons like this game has done a couple times, you know, when they put a skeleton that has more health, maybe some unique drops, usually drops a spellbook or something, or just a bunch of stuff. Well, none of that. I found none of that, although I didn't explore like all the pathways in Duskwood. There aren't much. Especially there is that little place where the ogres were congregating, where I found the chief who held the staff or whatever that I was bringing to the dwarves. You know, that little side area where there was a bunch of ogres. Did I call them dwarves? I hope I didn't call them dwarves. I meant ogres if I did. I haven't checked that place. There might be something interesting there, but I don't want to spend any more of your or my time in Duskwood because we have seen enough of that area, I believe, and that will just have to remain a final one last mystery in this game that you can uncover if you play this game by yourself. The other mystery is how fast I can go if I play on easy and grind all the enemies that I can and use all the equipment, magic and potions, how much speed I can have in the end, because on easy you get more stats, and if you level up more you can get more stats as well.
For 1,000 years or more, we have resided here in Corantha.
Yeah.
No more talk. Work is what's needed.
I have found that it is better to carry a variety of weapon types. Different opponents exhibit weakness that can only be exploited by changing to the right weapon.
Apparently that is true, as we found out in previous video at least. I can't remember which of these lines are new and which aren't, but I suspect some of them might be new, so I'm gonna be talking to people again.
I've been outside, but not very often. I prefer the mines to the forest or anywhere else out there.
Welcome, human.
Greetings, Crusader.
How do you humans manage to live in any other place than underground?
Well, I don't fucking know. How about you check... Oh, I don't know. Maybe yourself, how you're living in a city under the sky. Well, I suppose you spend most of your time in the mines, but surely it can't be that hard to imagine what it is like to go about your day just like you're standing here right now, not underground. Maybe he doesn't realize. Maybe I shouldn't really break it to him. I believe all the lines these people say from this point are old. At least there aren't anything interesting. I mean, there aren't any interesting lines. So let's just go deliver our scroll. You might be remembering that Captain Urson, right before vanishing with Erin, when we rescued him, he gave us a scroll to deliver to the Dwarven King in Corantha. So here we are. And just to warn you, the whole process of scroll delivery is supposed to, like, we enter, and when we start talking to people, assume that the scroll has already been delivered on camera. I mean, off camera. Otherwise the dialogue will not make too much sense. So, like, deliver the scroll. I have delivered the scroll.
There's a traitor among you.
This is a shocking turn of events. Are there more?
Most likely. I'll do what I can, but I gotta rejoin the crusade.
Any help would be appreciated. By the way, the scroll you delivered, it was blank. What does that mean?
It means you're not the only ones being deceived.
So yeah, I said that because, well, we didn't see him delivering any scrolls, and the Dwarf King mentioned the scroll I have delivered. I think they just didn't bother doing any sort of staging for that sort of cutscene. Huh. Pac-Man. So yeah, apparently Urson is actually a traitor or something. I actually have no idea. This storyline goes absolutely nowhere. He is never seen or mentioned again, I don't think. And maybe in the PlayStation version it is explored a bit more, because, you know, come on man, it's totally possible to climb on this fence. Don't give up. Antroid? Oh, you can just do that. Apparently Celestia also is supposed to, like, flee in terror at some point as well, and it didn't happen in this version exactly. But when I am let's playing Crusaders on PlayStation, which I will be doing next sometime in the future, I guess we will find out, because if I understand correctly, that game has slightly more extensive storyline and slightly more quality to it, but I don't know. Anyway, at this point I went to this guy
Please check out my fine wares.
and did a bunch of stuff. Most of the stuff was about buying these things over and over and over and over again. Time warp. And there we go. As if nothing even happened. So yeah, at this point I was doing my please check out my fine wares thing. So now I have no idea what to fill the air with, because that was my last desperate attempt at not as much comedy as just filling that air, I suppose, because I have to run back to Eastern Stronghold now through Duskwood again, and the Duskwood is of course empty. I suppose I will just speed it up. Thankfully, it is not actually that far. There we go. Couple more seconds at most, and we are in the Stronghold. I'm not picking up money again, because I never need it again in this game. No more merchants ever again. Crafty bugger. Flamestinger. Cool looking, but not better than our sword. Anyway, approaching the Eastern Stronghold, I want to say it's one of the more interesting pieces of environment in this game, because I have reason to believe, well, actually based on completely nothing. Wow, that was a dishonorable display. Based on absolutely nothing but guesswork, I have an opinion that this level might have been made somewhere around the beginning of this game's production, back when they still thought they have time to be fancy. Because, I mean, look at this place. It's definitely different from the rest of the game. It looks like they were trying. There's a whole bunch of textures, geometry and shit, you know? Extensive. Oh, fuck off. You are nothing to me. You're less than nothing. Actually, I suspect that I'm not supposed to be up there. And up there I mean on the roofs, where I was trying to get. But I will try again because I'm curious like that. Yep, there we go. Cannot get above these walls. But I definitely am not supposed to be walking up here. Yeah, cannot quite cross there. So I suspect this level was made somewhere around the beginning, but wasn't actually extensively playtested about, you know, where you can get and where you can get the camera. Because in some points it's even more glaring. Okay, that is where we go. To proceed, I want to explore this place fully because it's just I mean, there was effort put into this. And now I have explored this place fully, let's go. Also, I think it might be a little bit out of proportion, you know? Just a tiny bit. But not all of it. So, no idea what has been going on here with this level. But it is interesting. Barrels again. And crates. And around here somewhere was another fun place to go. Behind one of these houses, I believe, or maybe slightly later, actually. There is a spell book. Holy Wrath. Not really useful, but I might use it at some point later. I've shown it off once, but I mean it's upgraded now. And there might be a point or two where I'll be more surrounded by undead than anywhere else in the game, in the final level, so yeah. But yeah, this is a little city town in the Stronghold, but the Stronghold itself is right there. If I go there, I will of course walk in here. And surprise, surprise, we're actually at sea. We're not like in the forest or in the town, anything. This is just middle of the sea, you know. I wouldn't have thought that, but it is true. I wonder where else I could climb in this level, actually. Let me try a couple more seconds of this. God damn it. Drake, stop being so bad at platforming. I defend your controls because you're still controlled better than freaking Blade of Darkness shit, but sometimes you may make me want to pull my hair out. Oh well, I'm bored now. Let's go proceed to the Stronghold itself. So, we've been hunting for this awesome magical artifact, this Horn of Shattering, because we couldn't get inside this famously impenetrable, just legendarily unbreachable fortress, which is this dinky little motherfucking building right here. Oh well, at least such an awesome magical artifact will probably get us some cool explosions or something, I don't know. We need to blow open this door, or this gate, or this entire wall. Or if it was just up to me, I would level this entire freaking place, because it's full of nothing but skeletons. But let's see. Maybe we'll get a cool explosion. That was a very strange combination of sounds. Awesome. I will see you next time in Let's Play Crusaders of Might and Magic. Goodbye.